Here we are again, part 2 of this beautiful Yamaha 5JJ restoration slash get it back on the road after it had been a race bike. So where are we up to? What's happened since you were last here? Not a great deal. I've been ordering more parts and I've been doing a gym clean. It's nowhere near as clean as it needs to be. It's had its first pass. It's had a really good scrub with, God, I'm a Built Hamber fanboy, aren't I? Not sponsored, wish I was. With Built Hamber Suffix HD, big scrub, massive degrease, hot rinse off. Done that a few times, got 85% of the schmoo off it because it was pretty horrible. The top of the engine was just absolutely caked in anyway. So it's had a good clean. What else has gone on? I've been spending a bit more money, so the under tray rear fender, I don't know whether did I mention this in part 1, but it's all split. There's bits missing. There's a weird bracket here holding it up because the plastic's all broken off. Hole in it, it's held together with cable ties, etc. Managed to find one of those, genuine Yamaha, for not a lot of money, brand new one. So it's having, that'll tidy the back end up a bit. What else have I bought? Bought a load of fairing screws in anticipation of it being finished and all the bodywork going back on. So it's all, there's nothing worse than non-genuine. Even if the bike's a bit tatty, somehow if something's got all original fairing screws and clips, it's just nicer, isn't it? So I've got a load of genuine Yamaha clips for that. I found I talked, I think, didn't I, in part 1 about the switch gear. I've got a second-hand switch gear for the left-hand handlebar, which has got the choke levery thing built in. Couldn't get a genuine Yamaha choke cable, but I got a good quality pattern one. What else has happened? Oh, what have I done with it? It's over here, excuse me. This thing. This is the water pipe. We're getting that comes out of the crankcase down on the front sprocket side, out the water pump. It's fucking dissolved. And it's bloody unobtainium, it would appear. Can't even find a second-hand one. I think I'm going to have to get busy and... because it's solid on the end, it bolts into the engine, but this is really thin and crusty. I think I'm going to have to cut it off, get some pipe the right size, get busy with a TIG welder, and then Cerakote it black or something, make it nice. What else has happened? The observant amongst you will notice there's no top yoke on it, and that's because I was doing some armour black Cerakote for another job, and the top yoke looked like it had been in the wars a bit, to be fair. I think this bike's been upside down in a gravel trap more than once in its life, so took that off. I blasted it. I then got busy with a file and sort of dressed all the scars as best I could, blasted it again, and that's Cerakoted black, just so when you're riding it, you know, you're looking down at the top yoke, aren't you? Just make it a little bit tidier in the cockpit. I think that's about it. Oh, the cooling system, when I was washing the bike, I was flushing, I had a hot hose pipe down in the top of the engine, washing the cooling system out through where this water pipe goes on, getting all sorts of chunks of rust and rusty water out of it. Pretty manky in there. There goes my phone, stand by. Oh, it's my wife, I better answer it. Hello? It's alright. I do apologise. Yeah, so inside of the cooling system is, I had a bore scope down in the top and I was having a look, and after a good flush out with a hot hose pipe, it's actually not too bad in there. Still a little bit rusty, and the impeller on the water pump is very crusty looking. So my plan for that is, I know, Built Hamber bloody fanboy, this stuff is great. I use this in fuel tanks. It's a powder, you mix it with water and it dissolves rust basically. So I'm going to fill the cooling system up with that. I'm going to plug where this pipe goes, and then I'm going to put some of that de-ruster in, leave it soak for a couple of hours, and then flush it out again and try and get as much of the crap out as possible. Obviously it's having a new radiator, new hoses. We need the cooling system to be squeaky clean inside. If I'm leaving all that rust in there, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Right, stop talking, do some work and get this front end off, calipers off, forks out, Steering bearings seem pretty good. I might, because we're 98.7% of the way there, I'll probably drop the steering stem out, wash the bearings out, repack them with grease, put them back together, but there's no play in it, and it's all nice and free, no notches. So let's get the forks out. Did I say already? So the job for today is to basically end up with a nice set of forks. The mission is going to be getting the fork bottom off the stanchion. You'll see as I try and do it, but they're a monumental pain in the backside to do. Let me get the front wheel. I'll get it up in the air more, get the front wheel off the ground, calipers off. Let's get the front end done. Get some fresh wheel bearings in the front wheel, try and get the front end back together, that'd be nice. But I've got to get these forks built first. Right, onwards. Forks are out. Okay, so the first job is, in fact, let me explain what we're trying to do. This is the new stanchion, okay? It screws into the fork bottom. To be able to unscrew it, the first thing we have to do is, I'll do you a close-up, but there's a little grub screw here that we've got to get out, which is fucking rotten in there, basically. I might end up having to mill it out, but we'll see. So I'll get a socket that will hammer into there nice and tight, load of heat. Let's see if we can get that grub screw to move. That's the first thing, because that grub screw is one of the things that's stopping this from unscrewing. They're thread locked in, and there's 20 years of corrosion as well. But yeah, I've got to get that grub screw out first before I can do anything else. And then you have to put a, I'll show you when we do it, but you have to put a mill down there and just clean the, I'll explain in a minute. Let's get this in the vise and see if we can get that grub screw out first. Don't judge me. Obviously I don't need to be gentle with this fork stanchion, so I've just got it I've got my vise spun round and these jaws that'll hold a pipe. Obviously that's going to ruin this stanchion, but it doesn't matter. That's going in the scrap bin. I just need this aluminium piece off the bottom. Right, so let's clean that hole out a bit and get a bit that I can bang in, hammer in. Okay. What's it going to be? I think it's a 4mm Allen key, yeah. So the other thing to say is the aluminium is sometimes a bit peened over to stop the screw coming out, but that's not normally a problem. Some people say to put a drill down and just remove some of the aluminium, but in my experience, if you get if you get it to start moving, it's coming out anyway, regardless of whether you remove any aluminium. Do you see what I mean? That's a nice tight fit in there. Right, let's get a bit of heat on it, see if we can get it to move. So map gas torch, map gas, you know map gas, much hotter than propane. Can't be seized if it's liquid. I've got some nice stubby little, see that? Try and avoid any flex in the tool, do you know what I mean? These came with a vessel screwdriver. They're quite handy. The problem with this is as well, it's a fucking big chunk of aluminium, so massive heat sink. Heat is your friend. You're not doing this without getting it really, really hot. Do a little tappy tappy. Let's see. Where's my little ratchet gone? Let's get a sense of, have a little feel of it. Oh God, that doesn't feel great. More heat, doctor. We might end up putting it in the milling machine and just fucking milling it out and tapping it bigger and putting a bigger grub screw in it. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Tappy tappy. Fuck, that's hot now. I feel the stanchion getting hot all the way up the end here. Oh, is that moving? Oh. Oh. Cross your fucking fingers. Ow, that's hot. Come on now, you know you want to. Oh God, is he just rounding it off? No, it's coming out. Oh, you beauty. So you can see it's just peened a little bit. Ow, 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 hot. Peened a little bit of the aluminium out of the way where it was peened over. It's pulled the aluminium out of the way. So if you can get it moving, the peened over bit of aluminium isn't going to stop it coming out. Right. Oh, there goes the grub screw. Right, stage one. Now then, let me get a little end mill and I'll show you what's going on down in that hole. Right. Little 4 mil end mill. So what you need to do is, where the grub screw's been pushing on this threaded piece, so you imagine that's in there, isn't it? Like that. The thread has been fucking peened over by the end of the grub screw. If you try and unscrew this now with a damaged bit of thread, it fucks the thread in this aluminium piece. Ask me how I know. That was an awkward conversation to have with a customer many moons ago. So, little end mill in a drill. Let's get an airline. I can see down in there, but you can't. Obviously, we're not worried about the stanchion at this point, are we? Yeah, so it's a nice, clean, shiny hole down in there now. You understand. Right. So the next thing is to try and unscrew this off here. So my game plan, usually, is to use the wheel spindle, which is here, like that, to get some leverage on it, screw that in. I'm going to run out of map gas in a minute. That's not going to make my day go any easier. I need to heat it just to the point where it's about to turn to molten aluminium. And then try and... I am joking, of course. What are the chances, guys? Keep the heat on it as I'm trying to turn it, maybe. Oh, it's fucking moving! It's only fucking moving. Oh, the moment you take the heat off, it fucking goes tight again. Hang on, let's reposition my vice just to make it easy, because you guys are in the fucking way, which isn't helping. Tell you what. When you got to put a scaffolding pole, use a scaffolding pole to tighten the vice up, you know you... I can see all sorts of white corrosion coming out of... Yeah. It's moving though. That makes me happy. You gonna move for me? Yes, fucking hell, look at all that white schmoo coming out of there. I need a shorter pole. Oh, Jim. You're not making this easy for yourself. What's the chances of... Oh God, stand on the camera. Benches on wheels. What was I fucking thinking? No, it's tightened up again. Fucking hell. You can see how important loads of heat is, can't you? The moment the heat goes out of it, it just fucking locks up solid. I'm on the fence whether or not to Cerakote these or not, silver. That was my original plan. But I'm making a ton of work for myself, and you can't get the adjusting valve out either. Well, I'm sure you can, but I don't think it's going back in. It's held in with like a little peg, which makes blasting and masking them a bit of a pain in the bum. By some miracle, those adjusters aren't actually seized up completely, which is normally what happens. It's turning easier now with the heat on it. Let's keep it warm, and I might be able to just... There it is. There it is. Whoa. It's not a very nice noise. My ears! God, it fucking stinks as well. Wow. Corrosion in there. Okay. Thread looks alright. Fucking marvellous. Look at that. It's almost like I've done it before. Okay, I'm going to attempt the same on the next one. If it all turns to shit, I will bring you back in, but hopefully it won't. Cross your fingers. Here's something I bet you didn't know. Let's say you've got 6 bolts in a line that are all potentially seized up. It doesn't matter which bolt you start trying to undo, it's always the fucking last one that snaps off. You ever noticed that? So based on that, this fucking grub screw isn't going to come out. Right, what are the fucking chances? 0. Knocking stick. Come on now, you know you want to. Well, it's either rounding the Allen key off or... Oh. By fucking Jove. It's come out. What are the fucking chances? Right, where's my drilly drill? Mind it don't get it in your eyes. Okay, nice and clean in there. Right, more heat. Oh, hang on a minute, I've got to get my spindle ready. And the angle of the dangle's wrong, and you're in the fucking way. Just about like that. I'm going to need the pinch bolt too, aren't I? I can't put the spindle in and then not tighten the pinch bolt up. That would be bad. It's the fastest way of snapping the bottom of the fork. Oh look, I've got a new fucking handle for the workshop. Slightly more sensible length than the other one. Okay. It's still fucking warm though. Spindlage. Ow, ow, that's hot. Allen key. Can you see? Go down a bit. When you go down a bit, that's better. Right, Allen key. Okay. Oh God, I hope this one comes apart as easy. I think what I'm going to do is I'll put these, assuming it comes apart, I'll put them in the ultrasonic tank for an hour, see what they come out like, and then that'll determine whether or not I'm going to ultrasonically clean, fucking hell, Cerakote them. Now the rest of the bike isn't, trying to be polite, the rest of the bike isn't the most beautiful example, so if I've got gleaming forks in it, you know what I mean, it might not be worth the juice might not be worth the squeeze, so to speak. I've got enough to do as it is without adding, oh there's my phone again, I'm ignoring it this time. No, it's a random mobile number. Sorry, not answering you. Right, let's have a see if you're going to turn or not. Oh, it's turning! It's fucking turning! You fucking beauty! Holy muck fucking smoke. Oh, it's getting tight again. Let's reposition the vice. Oh God, it's fucking really hard with you in the way. Ow, that spindle's hot. This will be the perfect time to run out of gas. I wonder if you can Amazon map gas. I bet you can. Do they do compressed gas? Order some, I'll probably get it for tomorrow. Save me a trip to Screwfix. Right. Oh, look at that. You fucking knows it. Sorry, but you are in the way. God, that smells bad. God, that's a weird smell. It's like burnt bodies crossed with burnt meringue. That is a weird smell. God, look at all that corrosion coming out of there. Holy fucking smoke. That is mad. I'm breathing all this dust in. It can't be good for me. And it's going all over me fucking camera. Powdery. Wowzers. You getting that? Is that even in shot? No, Jim. Fucking hell. Right, that makes me happy. Okay. I'm going to put these in the ultrasonic tank now for an hour. Let's see what they come out like. Going to try and avoid Cerakote if I can, I think, just because there's so many other jobs to be done on this thing. Right, see you in a little while. Right, okay, so they actually haven't been in here this long, that long. I've only been in here about 20 minutes, actually buzzing away. I put the tank on, and I had to go out and do something, so just want to have a check on them and see. Ooh. Oh, I mean they're silver and it's got all the smooths coming out of them. Oh God, I don't know if I have to Cerakote them, but I think I might have to. Ah, okay. Let's put them in for a bit longer. Okay, out of the cooked in there for an hour or so. I don't want to have to Cerakote them, but I think I'm going to have to. They look a bit shit, don't they? In fact, on the camera, they look better than they are. They've got some... Oh, God. Why do I do this to myself? So, I need to make a plan for them because... So this compression damping adjuster here, it's working all right. It's got like a ball indent thing, which feels a little bit ropey, but the valve is moving fine. What am I trying to say? It's manky in here. The thread is horrible. I think what I want to do is vapor blast inside here, so this thread is all lovely and clean. Oh, by the way, down in here, there's an O-ring, which I don't fucking have, because it's not a Yamaha part. When you buy a fork stanchion from Yamaha, it comes with this bottom piece. So as far as I'm aware, this O-ring, you can't get on a genuine part number. And there's also a little shim as well that fits down in the bottom there for the bottom of the stanchion to sit onto. Those O-rings look in remarkably good condition, but I will see. I'm pretty sure I've got something very similar in my O-ring collection. What was I saying? I want a vapor blast in here, but I can't remove this compression damping adjustment valve. Well, I can. I'm sure I can. There's a pin there. But if I open that can of worms, I may not be able to close it again. I mean, it must come out. Tell me in the comments, is that removable? Well, I know it's removable, but can you remove them successfully? You'd have to pull that pin somehow. I was thinking, I don't think I said this out loud on a YouTube video. I know I've talked about it in the Discord quite a bit, but suspension really is my blind spot. I'm more of a general practitioner. Do you know what I mean? I've got a pretty good all-round knowledge of most things motorbike, but definitely suspension is where my knowledge falls down. You know, I've been doing it for 35, 40 years, so, you know, I can rebuild forks and do the basic stuff, but there's a reason, isn't there, why there are specialist suspension shops that just do suspension, because it is a very, very, very deep and complicated subject, which, yeah, I need to make more of an effort to understand suspension in a deeper way than I do. Yeah, the detent on that one it's sort of there, but anyway, I'm waffling. What I was saying was, down in this hole here, the valve is exposed, so it's basically a little tapered needle, and there's, you know, the bolt that holds the stanchion in, the damper rod in, is like a banjo bolt. Well, that's for this valve. The oil gets pressed. It either goes through it goes through the banjo bolt in the bottom, round through the valve and back out into the volume of the fork oil. At least that's my understanding. The oil, it either goes that way or the other way. Anyway, that valve meters the amount of oil when the fork is compressed. What am I fucking saying? Get to the point. I need to mask that somehow. If I'm going to vapor blast in here, I can't have glass bead getting in there, because I'll never fucking get it out again. I know what might work. Right, stand by. That is 39. And if we went by, I don't know what, 8. Okay. I tell you what, when I got into 3D printing years ago, I didn't really have an appreciation of just actually how useful it was going to be. It's come such a fucking long way in the last couple of years, to a point where it is genuinely really, really useful. If you're, what am I trying to say? It doesn't take, you could spend, people are, you know, they'll, fucking hell, get your thoughts together. for example, I'm just drawing a little plug here for this, and it's going to take me probably, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. So I've just drawn a 39mm, sorry, this isn't a 3D printing channel or a CAD design channel. That's bloody in the wrong place. I've just drawn a little blank there, and I'm just going to stick an 8mm hole in it, in the centre. Like this. 8mm, like that. In fact, hang on a minute. Let's make it, let's not make it 8mm, let's make it 8.4 maybe, just so the bolt isn't super tight. And let's zoom in there. What am I trying to say? It's really useful, and the cost of a 3D printer these days is, fucking hell, you're well in the game for £500, and you spend an hour on YouTube just learning how to do basic stuff, like I am here. I don't know how long that took, but there's a little plug with an 8mm hole, okay? And it's so simple for me on here is the printer's not in the workshop, it's actually across the yard there in the house, but all I can do is here, look, I'll go 3D print, I'll select the model, click OK. Should probably do a screen share, shouldn't I, so you can actually see. So it opens that model in the 3D printing software, like that. I need 2 of them, so I'll clone it. Okay, there we go. I'll choose my material, which is going to be ASA, which is a type of ABS. I'll slice them. So those 2 plugs, guys, are going to take 32 minutes 19 seconds to print on a, that would be like a 5-hour print on an old-fashioned 3D printer. But on a modern printer, which is, this is a Bambu Labs X1C, send to the printer. I know the printer's ready to go. Print bed is clear. And then I haven't even got to go and look at them, because on this bit of software here, the Bambu Labs printing software, I can watch a live video of them printing. So I can carry on with what I'm doing. That's going to make me 2 little masking plugs for the bottom of those forks, and I can go in the house and get them. I'm going to bolt them in the bottom of those forks. If it wasn't clear, I'll show you, and then that'll protect that valve, and then I can vapor blast them and blast them for, I'll probably put a silicone plug in the top once the inside's vapor blasted, and then I can blast them with the alloy oxide for cerakoting. 3D printing waffle, sorry, but it's more of a useful tool for a motorbike mechanic than you would possibly imagine. Those little fork seal drivers and all those little knickknacks, you think, fuck, where am I going to get one of those from? And actually modern materials like this ASA I'm using, which is an ABS type plastic, is really strong. I've got some carbon fibre reinforced nylon that I can print in, which is fucking hell, it's like aluminium almost, it's so strong. Yeah, get into it. It's mega. £500 going to get you a decent printer, and a couple of hours on YouTube learning Fusion 360, which is that software I was just using. And the great thing with Fusion is there's a free version which is 99% complete. If you're using it not for industry, you can get the full version of Fusion for nothing, and it's hundreds of pounds worth of software. So honestly, fucking hell, that's my waffle over. Right, I'll just wait for those to print. I'll probably put the wheel bearings in that wheel perhaps while I'm waiting. And then we can get on with some Cerakote and get these bloody forks back together. Right, onwards. Right, okay. Here's me plan. I've also printed 2 more little noggins. what therefore will become obvious in case you haven't already guessed. So these are me little pluggy things. So they drop down in the bottom of there like that. We're getting that 8mm bolt, drop that in there, and then these things drop down over the top of there and fill up, you know what I'm saying, and they poke out. Oh, fucking, I'm never going to get it in shot. They poke out enough so I can get a nut on, and then in theory, is that socket going to fit in there? Yeah. Clamp that up, and it'll protect that valve from all the glass bead when I vapor blast the inside. Perfecto. Okay. Actually get it in shot, Jim, might help. You get the idea. And then the plan is, once I vapor blasted inside there, and that's all nice and clean and smooth. I've got loads of these different size silicone plugs for Cerakoting. I'm just going to put that in there like that, just to protect that, and I'll put the grub screw back in so the alley oxide, when I blast it for Cerakote, can't get inside. Right, vapor blasting. Okay, Cerakotage crushed silver is what we're going for, H255. I think that is going to be the closest colour to the original. Okay, how much are we going to need, do you reckon? I reckon about 30 grams. You always mix a little bit more than you need. 31.75. So everything is blasted and masked. It's had an acetone wash. I'm not giving you a Cerakote lesson, I haven't got time. Right, we need to know how much hardener to put in there. There's an app for that. H255. Which is there, crushed silver. We're going to go, yeah, we'll do 14 to 1. What was it, 31.75? So we need 1.84 grams of catalyst. 1.9, that'll do. Okay, shaky, shaky. Right, I'm going to get the Cerakote on these and get them in the oven, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, guys, so Cerakoting is done. I think they'll agree. They look a bit nicer, don't they? What was I thinking then? Oh, I was thinking, I've just been taking these plugs out, and I was thinking, you're going to be thinking, Jim, plastic plugs in the oven, aren't they going to melt? The ASA, that plastic I used to print them out of, the nozzle temperature in the printer is like 250, 260 degrees, and the Cerakote oven is only 150, so no. They softened ever so slightly, and the nut pulled into the plastic a little tiny bit, but they came out fine. They've done a great job of protecting those valves. The adjusters are nice and, he says, are nice and free still. If anything, they feel better now after they've had a bit of a bake in the oven. So that's that. I've managed to find a couple of O-rings of the right size. So, assemblage. First things third, let's put the little shim in before we forget about it. That would be a disaster. for the end of the stanchion to bottom out on. A little bit of grease on the O-ring. Pop that in its groove. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to mark, we'll get the old stanchion. Is this even in shot? I don't know. I just want to mark exactly where's my pen? I want to mark exactly where this should bottom out. Because, I'll tell you why, because this section here is a really tight fit in the bottom of the fork. So as you screw it in, it feels like the thread's binding, but it isn't. It's just this, because it's almost a press fit into the bottom of the, you know what I'm saying. So I just want to know that I haven't hit a false bottom. Nobody likes a false bottom. Right, let me move the camera and change the angle of the dangle of this. Right, okay guys, so I've got a couple of little black marker pen marks there, so I know where that should bottom out. Let's put a little bit of sealer on this thread. It's runny, this stuff. This is not a thread lock, it's a sealer. It does have some thread locky properties, and I know there's an O-ring there doing the sealing before you comment. But the lock nut is going to be doing the lock nut, the grub screw is what's going to be doing the sealing properly. Right. It's tight because where that shoulder fits into the bottom of the foot, I'm not going to get into it now, but you know, they're always like this, is what I'm saying. It should be a very defined, we're getting to the stop. There, I think. Click. And the mark is lined up absolutely. I don't think you can see it, can you? Let me move the camera for you. Come on now, focus. Little marker pen mark there, can you see it? That's that. Okay. Crikey. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Thread lock, bearing fit. Put a load of it down in that hole, like that. Where's the grub screw? Could never have too much thread lock in there. Well, actually you can. I pity the poor fucker that's going to try and get that back out of there. Let's hope it's not me. Okay. Click. Okay. Awesome. Right. One down, one to go. There you go. I think it's safe to say that that is a bit of an improvement over what we had before. Even if I do say so myself, I think they look bloody awesome. Right, okay. It's the end of the day. And it's the end of this video. I'm absolutely broken. It's been a long day. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. I know you want to see these forks go back together. You might get that in part 3. Let's just see how things pan out. I'm got my nose to the grinding wheel trying to get this bike done for this guy. Everything I touch on it seems to take 5 times fucking longer than it probably should. It's just the way these things go sometimes. Anyway, until part 3, thanks all. See you soon.